This is Bergstrom's State Line Quiz Bowl. Now from the Collins Aerospace Studio at the Nordloff Center in downtown Rockford, here's your host, Eric Wilson.
Welcome to another edition of Bergstrom's State Line Quiz Bowl. We are so glad you are here. You know who else is glad? Our two teams. Let's say hi to them and get right into some gameplay really quickly because we've got a lot to. First of all, does anybody else find it hard to believe we're already in the middle of December? Time is just flying, but that's what happens when you play our game. It just rolls along. The Guilford Vikings are happy to be here. Let's say hello to them. Guilford's been part of Quiz Bowl since day one. 4 of the 8 seasons, they've advanced out of the first round. They hope to make that a 5th time today, I'm sure. Sam, with big smiles. Sam is the captain. Introduce us to your starting lineup, Sam.
Hello, everyone. On my direct right is Reese. Next to him is Manolo, and on the far right down there is Kyle.
Welcome, Guilford Vikings, and good luck taking on the Pecatonica Indians. Both of you have very big entourages, if you can't tell by all the clapping today. Also, no stranger to Quiz Bowl. Pecatonica has been here for a very long time. In fact, last season, the Indians advanced to the Elite 8. Your road back there starts now. Marshall, you are in charge of the team. It's kind of a lot of responsibility. Can you handle it?
I think so.
Look like you can. Introduce us to your starting lineup. That's your first duty of the day.
My name is Marshall. I'm the captain of the Pecatonica Quiz Bowl team, and we are coached by Carrie Daly. To my right is Becca. To my left is Zach, and to my far left is Gavin.
You know, Marshall, you set the bar high for all of our other teams. You're the only one who's given a shout out to the coach so far. Now all the coaches are going to want one. Nice job. And good luck to Pecatonica. All right, contestants, we begin with our buzz-in round, so hands on your buzzers. If you know the answer, let me know. 2 most important rules. Wait for me to call your name and say your answer loudly and clearly. No conferring in this round. Here we go. Good luck. What alias is used by jewel thief Selina Kyle, who first appeared in a 1940 issue of Batman? Gavin.
Catwoman.
That is right. Played by Michelle Pfeiffer and Halle Berry on the big screen. Peck earns the first points of our game. What president whose appointment of midnight judges led to Marbury versus Madison was the only Federalist president and succeeded George Washington? Marshall.
John Adams.
That's right. President number 2. What felsic rock, which is the intrusive equivalent of rhyolite, makes up most of the continental crust and is sometimes used for countertops? Sam.
Granite.
That's right, and those are Guilford's first points of the game. What 7-letter word was the name of the medieval region of England where Norse invaders settled and asserted their own culture and government? Sam.
Iceland.
Incorrect. Pecatonica, you have a chance for these points. Tough question. That's Danelaw. What Caribbean country includes the islands of Andros, Great Exuma, and New Providence, the last of which contains the capital city of Nassau? Kyle.
The Bahamas?
That's right. Nassau, capital of the Bahamas. Now we're all thinking about beaches. Electric flux equals enclosed charge over epsilon naught, according to what law, whose analog for magnetism assumes no magnetic monopoles? That is a tough question. Named after physicist Carl Friedrich Gauss, that's Gauss's law. John Carpenter was the first American winner of the jackpot on what game show, once hosted by Regis Philbin, whose lifelines included Phone a Friend? Manolo.
Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
That is right. Most recently is aired as a celebrity edition on ABC, hosted by Jimmy Kimmel. Those are Guilford's points. The archaeological site of L'Anse aux Meadows is on what island, which is home to the Canadian provincial capital of St. John's? Kyle.
Newfoundland.
Kyle?
Newfoundland?
That's right. You got it right before the buzzer. Guilford's on top. What party, which largely absorbed the anti-Masonic Party, had its first 2 presidents die in office and opposed the Democrats in the 1840s? Marshall.
Whigs.
That's right. Those presidents were William Henry Harrison and Zachary Taylor. What is the name of a part of a circle bounded by 2 radii and an arc resembling a slice of pie? Reese.
A wedge?
Incorrect. Pecatonica, you could take these points. It will tie it up. Marshall.
A radian.
Incorrect. Sector. What Union cavalry commander devastated Virginia's Shenandoah Valley in 1864 and helped trap Confederate forces at Appomattox? Marshall.
Grant.
Incorrect. Guilford, you could extend your lead. Manolo.
Robert E. Lee?
Incorrect. Sheridan. Philip Henry Sheridan. What city where Amazon canceled plans to build its HQ2 campus contains an Amazon warehouse that was unionized by Christian Smalls in 2022?
New York?
Kyle.
New York?
That is correct. What author who wrote about the marriage of Jack Potter in his story The Bridge Comes to Yellow Sky wrote the novel The Red Badge of Courage? Sam.
Hughes?
Incorrect. Pecatonica. Red Badge of Courage is written by Stephen Crane. No points, and that's how we end. We end with that literature question. Tight game here. Only a couple of questions separate our teams as of now. Guilford has 50. Pecatonica has 30. There's still lots of games to play. Our next round is volleyball, and it's after this break. We are back for round 2 today in the Bergstrom State Line Quiz Bowl. We're off to a pretty solid start, and it's a pretty tight start, too. Guilford has 50 points. Pecatonica has 30. Before we get to our volleyball round, just a very quick thank you to our judge today, Dave Costello, who is the Rockford Ice Hogs marketing manager. Thanks for keeping an eye on things for us today, Dave. Contestants, this is a conferring round, so you can work as a team. We encourage it, but the answer has to come from the captains. And because of the coin flip, Pecatonica gets the first question. So, Marshall, are you and the team ready?
Yes, sir.
Here's your first volleyball question this week. What British author imagined a damsel with a dulcimer and wrote about caves of ice within a sunny pleasure dome at Xanadu in his poem Kubla Khan? That was Samuel Taylor Coleridge. Most people know heard of Kubla Khan. Sometimes you don't know who wrote it. We're going to go on to Guilford now with a new question. Here's your first question of the round, Kyle. What Portuguese-speaking country is governed from Maputo and lies due west of Madagascar?
Mozambique?
Mozambique is right. You don't need to buzz in. All you have to do is shout it out. That's cool. And you've got 10 more points added to your score. We're back over to Pecatonica with a new question. Marshall. What policy enacted by Executive Order 9066 created Tule Lake, Manzanar, and other camps where Asian American citizens were sent during World War II?
Japanese internment.
Japanese internment is right. Seems like that was a team effort coming up with that answer. Good points. Back to Guilford. What car brand, whose mid-size SUVs are sold as RX models, was the first Japanese luxury car to launch in the U.S. and is a division of Toyota?
Mitsubishi?
Incorrect. Lexus. Back to Pecatonica. What adjective, which precedes dark in the title of a Nintendo 64 FPS, describes numbers such as 6 and 28 and is a synonym of immaculate?
Perfect.
Yep. Again, right before the buzzer, that FPS was perfect dark. Peck's within 10 points. We're back over to Guilford. 2 answers are needed here, Guilford. What 2 biochemists name the standard pairing of bases that hold strands of DNA together? Those are you could probably picture their famous double helix, right? Those are Watson-Crick pairings for James Watson and Francis Crick. Back to Pecatonica, you could tie it with this question, Marshall. In June 2022, what federal agency cited safety concerns in banning sale of Juul cigarettes and approved infant versions of coronavirus vaccines?
CDC.
Incorrect. That was probably a good guess. It's the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration. Back to Guilford. Henri is the reigning Grand Duke of what small European country that shares borders with Germany, France, and Belgium?
Luxembourg.
Yes, you got it. Surrounded by those 3 countries. 10 more points for Guilford. Back to Peck. What conflict in which Charles Gordon led the ever-victorious army against a man who claimed to be Jesus' brother occurred during the Qing dynasty? That was a tough Asian history question, right? That was the Taiping Rebellion. Lasted for 14 years in the mid-1800s in China, and that's how we end the round. Still a 20-point swing. Now, Guilford has 70, Pecatonica has 50 at our halfway point in the game. We'll be back with our NECA IBEW lightning round in a bit, but first, you get to play at home with the Bergstrom bonus question, and we'll be back with the answer.
Designated a New York City landmark in 1978, what is the name of the entertainment venue that calls the Rockefeller Center home and the headquarters of the world-famous Rockettes?
This is a fun place to be halfway through the game with a 20-point swing. Guilford has 70, Pecatonica has 50. No points on the line for this, but pizza and pasta, maybe more importantly, from Lino's of Rockford. That's our Bergstrom bonus question. Hands on your buzzers. Let me know if you know the answer to this. Designated a New York City landmark in 1978, what's the name of the entertainment venue that calls the Rockefeller Center home and is the headquarters of the world-famous Rockettes? Any parents in the audience want to shout this one out? Do you hear how many? They are not going to let you live that down. Radio City Music Hall. No pizza for you, but pizza for your parents. How about that? You can fight over which parents get the pizza at Lino's. We'll be back with our NECA IBEW lightning round after this. Well, that was a fun lightning round. Parents are already enjoying their pizza up there from Lino's. Lino's works fast. They're already here. Let's get into our NECA IBEW lightning round, and there's lots of points on the line, so these scores could change really quickly. It's a tight game right now. Guilford has 70 and Pecatonica has 50, and Guilford gets first pick this week in our lightning round. So, Sam, your categories are T in anatomy, national parks, or alliterative comic book characters.
I would do like the comic book characters one.
You got it.
Thank you.
We put our money on that being the first category snagged, and whoever had that in the pool wins. Alliterative comic book characters. Identify these comic book characters with alliterative names. You have 60 seconds. If you get through all 10 of these, you add 100 points to your score. Whatever they don't get to, then Miguel, you and the team will have 30 seconds to answer those questions and pick up the remaining points. Advice to both teams: you can pass. Remember, this is a team round. You can work as a team. Answers, especially in this round because it moves so fast, have to come from the captains. Sam, are you ready?
Yes.
Identify these comic book characters with alliterative names. Spider-Man's alter ego.
Peter Parker.
Correct. Female hero with a lasso of truth.
Wonder Woman.
Correct. Rival of Superman, played in movies by Jesse Eisenberg.
Lex Luthor.
Correct. Animal companion of Groot.
Rocket Raccoon.
Correct. Herald of Galactus, whose original name was Norrin Rad.
Pass.
Tony Stark's primary love interest, who also uses the name Rescue.
Pepper Potts.
Correct. Alter ego of the Winter Soldier.
Bucky Barnes.
Correct. Head of the Daily Bugle, generally depicted as hating Spider-Man.
J.J. Simmons.
Incorrect. Detective who marries Luke Cage.
Pass.
Name used by Sally Jupiter and her daughter in Watchmen.
Pass.
Herald of Galactus, whose original name was Norrin Rad. And that's our time. That's not bad. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them right. You're up to 130. That means there's 4 left on the board for you, Miguel. And if you were paying attention, you could go through these relatively quickly, but you only have 30 seconds. Ready? Identify these comic book characters with alliterative names. Herald of Galactus, whose original name was Norrin Rad.
Silver Surfer.
That's correct. Head of the Daily Bugle, generally depicted as hating Spider-Man.
J. Jonah Jameson.
That's correct. Detective who marries Luke Cage.
Jessica Jones.
Correct. Name used by Sally Jupiter and her daughter in Watchmen.
Don't know that one.
Okay, we'll give no answer for that when we can move on. Very good. I just want to, you made a mashup, I think, for the Daily Bugle editor. You mashed up the actor with the character. That's okay. I just want to explain why that wasn't right. It was J. Jonah Jameson. And the last one was Silk Spectre, Dr. Manhattan's girlfriend in The Watchmen. There's 2 categories left now for you, Miguel. They are T in anatomy or national parks.
We'll take national parks.
You got it. In what state are these national parks located? All the answers will be states. I'm describing the park. You have 60 seconds to run this category. We're at a 50-point game right now, so every point counts. You ready for your first one, Miguel? In what state are these national parks located? Petrified Forest in the same state as the Grand Canyon.
Arizona.
Correct. Olympic, which is on the Pacific Ocean.
Washington.
Correct. Biscayne, which includes a mangrove forest.
Florida.
Say that again.
Florida.
Correct. Mammoth Cave.
Skip.
White Sands, which is in a missile range where the first atomic bomb was tested.
New Mexico.
Correct. Acadia, which includes Mount Desert Island.
Maine.
Correct. Grand Teton.
Wyoming.
Correct. Glacier, which is near the Canadian border.
Montana.
Correct. Arches and Bryce Canyon.
Utah.
Correct. Isle Royal, which is in Lake Superior.
Michigan.
Correct. Mammoth Cave.
Tennessee.
Incorrect. And there's no more to go back to. You nearly ran that category. Nice job. 9 correct, 90 points. You are on top now. Sam, you've got 30 seconds. If you know this one, go ahead and answer fast. Take your time if you still need to confer. The category is national parks. In what state are these national parks located? You ready? Here's the only one we didn't get. Mammoth Cave.
Colorado.
Incorrect. Kentucky. Just actually outside of Bowling Green. That was pent-up applause for nearly running the category, Miguel. You and the team did really well. So now Pecatonica is on top by 40 points, but in our final challenge round, each of our questions is worth 20 points. So it's a two-question swing right now. We'll see how things go after this break in that final challenge. This close match has been this way all game long, but for the first time actually in this game, Pecatonica is on top by 40 points, 170 to 130. Final challenge, each question is worth 20 points, so there's a lot of points on the line here. Hands on your buzzers, same rules as round 1, and the 2 most important of those rules, wait for me to call your name and say your answer loudly and clearly. Hands on your buzzers, good luck. Here's the first final challenge question. The Roman Emperor Claudius wrote a history of what neighboring people, an early rival of the Romans, who settled in the cities of Veii and Tarquini? Sam, from Guilford.
Ottomans.
Incorrect. Pecatonica, you could take these points. Go ahead, Tyler.
Carthage.
Incorrect. The Etruscans. What non-conservative force, whose magnitude is often modeled as a namesake coefficient times the normal force, is reduced by lubricants? Miguel.
Friction.
That's right. Residents of what West Coast city, led by Mayor London Breed, voted to recall Progressive District Attorney Chesa Bodine in a June 2022 election? Kyle.
San Francisco.
That is right. Guilford's first points of the round. What English-born explorer of the future New York sailed the Half Moon, was marooned in a 1610 mutiny, and is the namesake of a massive... Tyler.
Hudson.
That's right, the massive bay in Canada. What author of the autobiography Black Boy wrote a novel that depicts the trial of Bigger Thomas? Sam from Guilford.
Langston Hughes.
Incorrect. Pecatonica, you have a chance for this. Go ahead, Sam from
Frederick Douglass.
Incorrect. Richard Nathaniel Wright. What biblical character was hidden by his mother Jochebed in a basket? Was Sam from Peck.
Moses.
That's right, brother of Aaron, descended Mount Sinai with the 10 Commandments. The U.S. Constitution is based partly on the oral constitution of what confederacy of Native American tribes? Sam from Peck.
Iroquois.
That's right, the Iroquois Confederacy. What zodiac constellation contains the black hole at the center of the Milky Way, depicts a centaur with a bow, and is sometimes, Becca.
Sagittarius.
That's right, sometimes called the Archer, 3 in a row for Peck. What country whose Cape Reinga is sacred to its indigenous people has 2 main islands, North and South? Tyler.
New Zealand.
That's right, North and South Island, settled by the Maori. What poem that describes life as a darkling plain where ignorant armies clash is by Matthew Arnold and is named for a location on the British coast? Tyler.
Essex.
Incorrect. Guilford, you could take these points. Tough literature question. Dover Beach was that poem. What nationalistic political faction deposed Sultan Abdul Hamid II in 1909? Tyler.
The Young Turks.
Yes, in its efforts to bring liberal reforms to the late Ottoman Empire. And with that question, you bump above 300 points, and that's how we end the round. So Pecatonica, congratulations. It is rare that you can also, can you hear that they want to clap, but they're not sure if they can? Go ahead and interrupt me. Go ahead and clap. 300 points is a pretty big deal. Nice job. You are moving on to our next round. And Guilford, you played a fantastic game. That was close all the way up until that lightning round, and that lightning is sometimes a game changer. Sounds cliche, but you played a fantastic round. You should be very proud of yourselves. How many of you are seniors? None of you? That means you're all coming back next season, right? All right, that's a guarantee. And I hope you will come back next week for our Christmas game that features Forreston against Winnebago. We'll see you then.